Well, hello. I think we can see me this time. How about that? I had to put the lamps in a different spot. Hopefully it's gonna work. Anyway, you can see my face. Welcome to Grandma Hershey Cook. I'm Grandma Hershey, spelled with a U and not an E. And today is episode 144. And I was supposed to do the king's cake, right? I looked at that recipe and I said, this is too much. So the king can have his cake. I decided to go with the king's brother cake instead. How about that? Then I got the colors wrong. I thought I had it right. Then when I was at the store, I couldn't remember. I looked up something. They told me the wrong color. But anyway, this is the king's brother cake, so he can do what he want to do. But I am going to tell you about the king's cake tradition deal with it stands for. So the real colors for the king cake, which is for the Mardi Gras, is purple, gold, and green. And the purple symbolized justice, the green symbolized faith, and the gold symbolized power. And it was first established in 1872 by the Rex Parade. I don't know who Rex was. But anyway, it says the colors of Mardi Gras was first introduced during the Rex Parade in New Orleans in 1872. It was organized to celebrate the arrival of Russian Grand Duke Alexei Alexandrovich Romanov. Now that's a whole lot of names, okay, for one person. The Rex organization, which continues to lead parades today, try to face you guys, selected three colors to reflect the tricolor tradition of flags, and it symbolized a kingdom and its king. So purple, green, and gold were chosen for their heraldic significance and royal associations, which purple historically linked to royalty and gold representing wealth and kingship. And so, like I said, the purple represents justice, also associated with royalty, spirituality, and Lent, which is we're in the Lent season now. And then the green represents faith, symbolizing growth, renewal, and hope, which is all part of Lent. And then the gold represents power, reflecting wealth, authority, and the rewards of faith and sacrifices. These colors are now ubiquitous, big word, in Mardi Gras celebrations, appearing on beads, which I forgot to put on my beads, masks, floats, king cakes, and costumes, reinforcing both tradition and visual identity. So it's also influenced local culture and folklore. For example, there is a legend that these colors affected the school colors of Louisiana State University, the purple and gold, and Tulane University with the green. But they said that the story is more of a myth than a fact. Anyway, those are their colors. So anyway, that's about it. The Rex Parade started over 150 years ago. They're still celebrating that king cake. But I tell you what, that king cake takes a lot of work. And we don't have that kind of time around here. Time is of the essence around here. We don't have all day. So we got the king's brother cake that tastes delicious. And although I got red instead of purple, it's still pretty. How about that? Okay. So let's talk about the healthy highlights right quick. So it's a bundt cake, and 1/16 of a cake is serving. Okay, you just cutting the 16 slice and you got your serving. And you saw the picture of that cake. That cake was pretty, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. So anywho, the calories is 280. The saturated fat is 7.3. The cholesterol is 64.7. The sodium is 289.8. The carbs are 22.1. The sugar, 9.2 for a piece of cake. Who does that? And then the protein is 6.3. The fiber is 6.3. The net carbs is 20.8, which is not keto low, but it's low for FDA, and it's also low for a piece of cake. So you still can have your cake and your icing too. How about that? Mm-hmm. So what we have in it, we got a half a cup of butter, a half unsalted. Then we have a half a cup of margarine, our Marjo butter. Thank you, Sheila. And then we have a cup of vanilla Greek yogurt, 1 cup of sugar, 1 cup of sweetener, whatever your favorite kind is, 4 eggs, and 6 tablespoons of liquid eggs. So that's going to cut your cholesterol down. Then there is a teaspoon of vanilla, a teaspoon of almond, extract. Okay, not almonds crushed up, but extract. And then there's a 1/2 cup of almond flour, 1/2 cup of sorghum flour, or whatever other gluten-free flour you want to use, as long as it's not a nut flour, so it can have some substance to it. There's a tablespoon of baking powder, a 4th teaspoon of kosher salt, and a teaspoon of xanthan gum. And then the frosting, which I've been making for years, is a cream cheese frosting, and it's low sugar. It's 1 block of cream cheese. You can get the fat-free, which I found some at Walmart, or you can get the Neufchâtel. And then an 8-ounce container of Cool Whip whipped cream. I get the cheap right now because Cool Whip is crazy. 1 small box of sugar-free vanilla pudding, a teaspoon of vanilla flavor, and then in this case we have our sprinkles. And altogether I use about a tablespoon worth. So, and I could have got the purple ones. They had a container with purple and gold. Anywho, it was still pretty and it tastes good. All right, so now let's go on, because we got to. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna preheat your oven to 350 degrees. Then you're gonna take your bundt pan and you're gonna spray it with your cake flour, like baker's jar. With that spray, then you're going to take your Marjo butter. We're going to put this, it's going to be our wet bowl, okay? We're going to put this in here first. I just got back. I had 3 minutes. 3 minutes ago, I had took my granddaughter to something she had to go to because her mama was out of town. So anywho, that's what grandmas are for, huh? That's right. We got to take up the slack. Okay, so we're going to put our more. I had to kind of melt the butter a little bit. I don't know why that butter is taking so long to get soft. So anyway, we got the stick of Marjo butter and a stick of the whole thing is Marjo butter, a stick of margarine and a stick of unsalted butter. Then we're going to go ahead and put in the yogurt. Here's the yogurt. 1 cup of yogurt. And that one, you know how they have the individual things, that's only 6 ounces. So you either gonna need 1.5 of those or I got the big tub. It was cheaper, okay? And it works. Okay, so we're gonna put that in here. Yep. Oh, I tell you should have seen these little legs walking. I'm only 4'11", so you should have seen these little legs walking from the parking garage, yelling at people on the road because it was traffic. I like the lights trying to make them change. Oh, it was something. I was panicking, y'all. Worried about my folks. Then we're gonna, after we put that in there, we'll put the sugars, which I got those both in here. 1 cup of sweetener and 1 cup of regular sugar. I'm going to throw that in there. Okay. And we're going to set that right there. And then we are going to beat that together first. I got my beater right here. I don't know what this water's sitting here for. Probably when I took my vitamins. Grandma Hershey's trying to be healthy. She can live a long time. Okay. Right. Now we're going to go ahead and add these flavors. The one with the 1 teaspoon of almond and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. We're going to go ahead and put in our eggs. That's 4 eggs. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to open these first. That's all right. We working it. We working it. 4 eggs, and our 6 tablespoons of liquid egg, which I like to use to make omelets and stuff. Uh-oh, now I just got something on my hand. Oh, Lord. Anywho, we're going to keep moving. Grandma Hershey going to be all right. She going to be all right with this on her finger. Let's go ahead and beat these eggs in. See, this is a lot quicker than the king cake. Because with the king cake, it's really kind of like I call it like kind of like a cinnamon roll type stuff. You got to put yeast in it, let it rise, beat it down, and everything else. But with this, you ain't got to do all that. Okay, I like the king's brother. Okay, so now that's that for the wet stuff. Okay, so now we're going to get this other bowl, and we're going to put our dry ingredients in it. All right, let's move this beater back. Hopefully it won't drip on the counter. Catch that drip. Okay, so in the dry bowl, that's where we got our flours, our baking powder, the salt. That's what's in here. Okay. Basically, it's that good luck cake without the almonds on it. I gotta find a good cake that I know is good, and then I made the cream cheese frosting. Okay, so I know people probably going like, King's brother cake. I never heard of that. Me either. Hey, when you get in the kitchen, you gotta come up with whatever you come up with. A lot of stuff was made by accident. Okay. So we got all the dry ingredients in here, and so what we're gonna do, I like to use thirds. And put about a third of here into the wet bowl. Hope I stirred it up good. Okay, I'm gonna kind of stir that on in before I turn the mixer on, so it don't fly everywhere. You know how stuff can do. And it's gonna get a little thicker. Okay, now let's beat it in. We're gonna put some more in here. You see, I got my African garb on, so it's the last show before Black History Month is over. So I couldn't find my other stuff. I found this when my mother gave me this years ago. So I'm glad she did. And it's a real African outfit. Okay, I am 70-something other percent West African. All right, let's put our last third in here. Woo-hoo. And then we'll be done with the batter. That is a whole lot quicker than that king cake, and I don't have nothing against that tradition. I just didn't have the time. Okay, so I just want to say sorry, King, whatever that long name was that you had, because that's a long name. Oh, mercy, mercy, mercy. That's all I can say. Okay. I'm going to stir this in really good. We turn the beater on. Okay. Now we're going to turn it on for the last time for the batter. That's flying everywhere. Okay. And this batter smelling really good. It's really smelling good. Okay. Now I did find my ring lamp. It's got a camera hooked onto it. I don't know what to do with that. One of my oldest grandson showed me something other from years ago, and the camera's still on the ring lamp. I'm gonna try to hook it up next week though, some kind of way. Oh Lord. Okay, so we're gonna pour our batter into this bundt pan as evenly as we can. Okay. Too bad I don't have a glass bundt pan, but I'll show it to you in a minute. Woo-hoo. Here we go. This bowl almost too heavy. So I hope you guys had a good weekend. Mine was very wild with the crazy lights. But they finally got fixed on Monday. So that put us a day behind. I don't like that, but you gotta do what you gotta do. I couldn't make them fix it no sooner. I called them every day, though, I tell you that. Okay. Don't fall bowl. Now that would be a blooper if my bowl fell. Ooh-wee. It really smells good. I can smell the almond flavor. Okay, try to get all this in here. Because if I'm gonna count my calories, I want to eat all my calories that I'm counting. No partials. Okay. All right. I'll get it done. See if I got one of those things in here or not. I do. I have another one. The other one is in the dishwasher waiting to be washed. Okay. All right. Don't want to waste nothing. Okay. Whew. I'll tell you should have seen these little legs scurrying up the hallway waiting for the elevator because I'm on the 5th floor with Brother Man. Okay. So I'm going like, come on, elevator, I got to go. That's all we're going to do. Okay, so I'm going to show you. We're going to spread this around as evenly as possible. Kind of flopped it in a little bit. I guess I'm still in a hurry. Yeesh. We need to calm down. Okay, so that's what it's gonna look like in your bundt pan. Okay, maybe yours will look a little prettier, but that's what it look like. So at this point, we will put this in the oven and we will bake it for 55 minutes. Okay, but right now we're gonna set it to the side. Okay, and let me see this big old bowl with stuff in it, so I can have somewhere to set this big bowl. All right, so this is where I need to get a napkin. Hold on. Grandmahurshey can only take so much. Okay, so now this is where you will start making your frosting. And of course, I did not find my other beaters. So I'm going to try to kind of wipe these off a little bit and use like we did last week when we used for the cream cheese. At least this time the color is about the same. So we won't have pink batter like last week. Oh, okay. Put this in because I didn't put my little waste basket there. Okay, so now enough of that part. I hope I got this light good enough because I didn't get a chance to really put it how I wanted it because I was rushing. So anywho, enough of that. So now we are going to take our cream cheese. Now I was able to find the non-fat at Walmart, so I was glad of that. Okay, we'll take our cream cheese, that in the bowl, and this frosting you can change the flavor. So if you want a chocolate frosting, you just use sugar-free chocolate pudding. If you want Strawberry, use strawberry sugar-free jello. It's very versatile, very versatile. Like I said, I've been using this recipe for 12 years now. And so because when I was at church, I noticed that when we would have cake, that diabetics would scrape the frosting off the cakes. And I'm going like, excuse me. First I said, why are they doing that? What are they doing? And so I didn't realize they were diabetics at the time. So then I said, okay, God, what can we do so they can have a frosting too? And then the Lord gave me this recipe. Been doing it ever since. So and then here's our 1 teaspoon vanilla flavor and our tub of whipped cream. I ran out of containers, so that's all right. So it's an 8-ounce container of whipped cream. So it's good to have boobs. You can have stuff hang there. No offense to anybody who don't have as much. One man told me all he needed was mouthful. So, hey, it don't matter about the size. Trust me. I hope the kids cover their ears. I'm not making this X-rated. Oh, Lord. Grandma Hershey have experienced life. Tell you that. All right. So now we are going to find a spot to put this container since I didn't put my trash bag there. Now we're going to turn this on and cream this frosting up. Okay, where's that cream cheese? All righty. There's your frosting. And you want everything at room temperature so it'll blend in real easy. And I tell you what, this is some good frosting. Yes, and it's low sugar. Okay, very low sugar. And if you get the non-fat cream cheese, it's going to be very low fat. Mm-hmm. And there's your frosting. It'll spread on that cake. So once your cake is done, you're going to let it cool for like 10 or 15 minutes. Invert it on the plate, flip it over. And then once it cool all the way, then you're going to frost it. And you're going to sprinkle your color sprinkles in the areas that you want it. And I got half a cake here left because I gave half of it away already. See, so this is how on the picture was pretty. You can see it better. So, yep. And because it's cream cheese frosting, whatever haven't been eaten, you want to put that in the refrigerator, okay? Because you don't want to have no bad frosting the next day. So, being that we got that done, let's go ahead and hit the thumbs up button first. Can you see it? There you go. Then, if you have not subscribed already, click subscribe. And then when you see the bells, click the black bell. And then in a few, maybe a couple of minutes, then we will need to share this show because these recipes is for people who have macronutrient restrictions and that they can still enjoy food too. So sometimes something may not be as sweet as you want it, but if you're diabetic, you don't need to know sweeter, okay? And you should be sweet yourself, okay? Because we do have a sugar complex in our DNA. That's a fact. So anyway, this is a slice of the cake. So let's go ahead and make sure it's not pausing, okay? We're going to cut into the cake. And this had been refrigerated. I took it out to let it get room temperature. All right, let's taste it. That frosting really adds to it. Let's take one for the team. All right. Homemade cake that's not gooey. Because some of those gluten-free stuff is gummy. And this is not. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Grandma Hershey gonna tear that up later. Mm-hmm. Now, let's get our shout outs. Ready, Marcy? So, we want to shout out to Reggie and Marcy. And yes, allergies were terrible last week. You can see I'm better now, huh? Kick those allergies in the patootie. And shout out to Sharon, my sister Sheila, my niece in Colorado, Andreas, Diana. My mouth is salivating again. That cake is good. To my I call him my cat, but Diana takes care of him, to Fit Seafood, to Amy and Merle and Sabelle and David and Najee and Gwen and Doreen and Alan and Darwin and Aya, Theresa and Savannah and Dallas and Phyllis and Ben and Marie and Linda and Shelley and Hillary and Kay and Regina, Alex, Lois, Amanda, Soul and Rising, and Gretchen and Narcoplexic. And I hope I didn't leave nobody out. Okay. So anyway, if you watch the show, let me know and I can shout you out next week. We didn't have no birthdays since last week. So if you have a birthday coming up in the next week, let me know. I can sing happy birthday to you next week. Okay. So that's about it. Oh, so next week, being that we're in Lent season, I think I'm going to do what I think I know. We're going to do jambalaya. It's going to have shrimp and kielbasa in it. So it's going to be good. So that'll be a nice little dish to have for your Friday Lent thingy. Oh, well, you have to take the kielbasa out because no meat, just fish and seafood. Woo-wee. I love Lent season. So anywho, that's about it. And I'm glad my lights are on. Although I didn't have a chance to really work with this because like I said, I had to go do that. I had 3 minutes to spare, but I made it. So anyway, I'm glad you guys came by and to watch the show. And I hope that you really try this cake and let me know how you like it because it is really, really good. All right, and it's much quicker than the king cake. King won't mind. And I'll see you guys next week. I love you. Mwah. And hug somebody, kiss them, and tell them you love them. All right. And pray for the world. We really need it. Okay. Love you guys. See you next week. Now I got to get this mouse is way over here. Let's see if I can get it to act right. Okay. Here we go. See you later. Mwah.